So horizontal air climb on fixed anchor point. We get nice and close to the anchors, although I'll try and avoid pressing a toothed device like a hand descender or a crawl right up against a knot. Get yourself nice and high, and the goal is to start connecting these cow's tails with foot loops attached to these anchor points. Now I'm high enough there, but you may not be. If you do need to get a little bit higher, what we're going to do is just take a foot loop. Doesn't matter whether it's an H-climbing foot loop or your hand descender and foot loop combination. Just clip that somewhere high. I'm going to step up, get the crawl further up the working line, and that should now be high enough to make these connections. I'm not going to be needing a hand descender and foot loop anymore. I'm going to tell you that away. We'll start thinking about getting connected to the 8-climb. I'm going to have a clean up. I'm going to take both of these ropes, push them to the side that I'm leaving behind. So because I'm travelling that way, I'm going to ditch these over here. Now, I'm going to start adding attachments to the anchor points. I have the lead cow's tail with a foot loop attached. Try and make sure when you do set up for this on the ground that you attach these foot loops directly onto the cow's tail carabiners. Now if you can reach, set yourself up on 3 separate anchors with the lead leg here, the trailing leg here, and a short or centre connection in the middle. You may not be able to reach depending on the position of the slings. So worst cases you may have to set up on 2 fixed anchor points like this. So I'm going to take that there, screwed up. That is 1 point of contact to the 8-climb. I'm going to do the same with the trailing leg now. It's going to be on the left hand side. That's the second point of attachment to the 8-climb. I have 4 points of attachment now in total. But I need to get the centre or short connection set up now for the 8-climb. Now all I'm going to do for that is I'm going to take the centre cow's tail on the D-ring that did have the hand descender on, and I'm going to shorten it by attaching the crawl. You can use quick draws and short lengths of cow's tail and grions and adjustable lanyards and stuff like that. We're just going to be using a basic cow's tail and crawl combination. I'm going to take this to this one as I'm going to be moving in that direction anyway. Now I haven't gained any points of attachment there because these 2 cow's tails attached to this single carabiner only count as 1 point of contact. You have to be very careful when you're 8-climbing not to put yourself down to 1 point. But I do have 2 on the 8-climb. Start thinking about disconnecting from the ropes. I'm going to take the ASAP off. Just make sure it's not tangled up with the rope. Then we're going to look to get the crawl from the working line onto this centre cow's tail here. For that you're going to need your feet in the foot loops. So just pick a loop you know you're going to be able to stand in for now. Whenever you're standing up using foot loops in your 8-climbing, try and position foot loops on the outside of your legs. It'll give you a great deal more support when you stand up. I'm going to step up, reach up nice and high for some support. Grabbing the top of the beam there, and reach down with the right hand, pop the crawl off, grab that centre cow's tail, pop it the crawl. Now just aim for about 6 inches from the top initially. Sit yourself down, relax, and then you can work out if you need to move your feet or need to shorten or lengthen that short connection. Now I feel okay, I just feel like the knees are a little bit high. I'm going to go a little bit higher on this little cow's tail. Now that's shortened that connection, which means I'm going to have less to move it back and forth, but it means I have more to move these ones. Just take a little bit of time, set yourself up, make sure everything's going to work for you. Now, the first attachment I'm going to move, going in this direction, is going to be the lead leg. I'm going to take this one off, unscrew it, move it across, screw it back up. That puts us on 3 independent points. So now I'm going to take the trailing leg, move it into the middle. Now we'll move the centre one. Try and make this move efficient by unscrewing it before you step up. Plan where you're going to put it, make sure you're aiming for this top carabiner here. Don't clip it into your cow's tail, you won't be able to move that. Stand up, pop it out, move it across, sit down, relax, then screw it. Don't go really tight screwing these up, they're coming off again in 10-20 seconds. So again, we're just going to repeat that process. It's going to be the lead leg, to the next anchor point, and it's going to be the trailing leg into the middle, and then middle to the lead leg. additional ropes on the anchor. Just make sure you move each cow's tail in the same direction around them. So I'm going to pass myself behind them. Just work all the cow's tails in that direction. Continuing on fixed anchors until you reach a set of ropes and then descend. What we're going to be doing is carrying on the fixed anchors until we're close to the steel work here that we're going to be using for mobile. So I'm going to keep going until the lead leg and the middle connection are in this last anchor. Here, you're going to attach your 3 wire slings to the tube. Try and take them one at a time. If you do drop anything, it's only one. Loop them around, close them up. I'm just going to screw these carabiners up so I'm going to be connected to those ones anyway. Once you have all 3 slings attached and screwed up, just keep one nice and close. Spread the others out by a couple of inches. Now, not only are we going to have to turn 90 degrees in this transition here, but we're also going to have quite a big change in height. It's going to be a good 8 to 10 inches there that we're going to have to drop. So there's a few things we're going to have to consider. Now, first of all, because we are transitioning, it's a really common spot for one point of attachment this. Make sure you're not going to take something off that's going to leave you attached to one single anchor point at the top. Now, there's a few different ways you can do it while remaining on 2 points. I'm going to show you what I feel is the most efficient way to do it, which involves moving both the feet down first. Now in this case, I certainly can't move this leg, because I'll be on 1 point attachment here. So it's going to have to be the lead leg. Now what that's going to do, moving both feet, is going to set them both in the same kind of position down here, which makes it a little bit easier to stand up. But it is also going to change your fall factor here. Now that cow's tail is about level, maybe a little bit lower than the D-ring, which means I'm just past fall factor 1, which with the cow's tail is no good. Now at the moment, that's okay because of this cow's tail. Once I move this one down as well, fall factor is a little bit too low. So before I do move down, what I'm going to do is check the position of the D-ring, check the position of the carabiners. If my D-ring is the same height or higher, I'm going to drop down a little bit using the crawl. Now, there's a good chance you're already going to be low enough on your short connection not to worry about that, but you will need to check to manage the fall factor. So I'm going to stand up, finger on the top of the column, I'm just going to drop down a little bit, making sure I still have some slack left in these. And from there you can see the D-ring is sitting a good few inches below those angles. I'm going to move the lead leg first. Into the closest wire sling. And I'm going to move the trailing leg to the furthest wire sling. You may need your feet in a slightly higher loop than you did previously. Once your feet are in those loops, pull them underneath you because you need to lift yourself straight up. Keep your knees on the inside of those foot loops. Unscrew the middle connection. You only need to lift up an inch or two. Just bump your weight up, pop it out, put it into that centre carabiner. Pull any excess slack through, because you've dropped down so far, you're going to want to get rid of that slack in the middle connection. And if you need to, readjust your feet. Now we're ready to start moving. So mobile aid climbing, again, feet in the foot loops, knees resting inside the foot loops. We're going to slide the lead leg out first. Just relax that leg while you slide that out. Pull up the slings or the steel work for some support, stand up, slide the centre connection across, sit down, relax, and bring the trailing leg in. Just keep repeating that. It's a lot easier than fixed anchor aid climbing, a lot more common at work as well. We'll keep going. The only time mobile anti-aid climbing gets a little bit more tricky is when you have to start passing obstructions like we have coming up here. Now on assessments, we'll usually have to demonstrate passing 2 obstructions. We're just going to pass the one today, but we'll use the same process anytime we pass one. Now, the lead leg wire strop is against the obstruction. I'm going to move this one first. There are numerous different ways you can do this while remaining on 2 points. I just find this way one of the more efficient ways. You will only have to stand it once using this method. I'm going to take the closest wire anchor and unclip half of the wire sling, move it past the obstruction, put it back together. Screw it up, keep it nice and close. Now to do the same thing with this centre connection, you would need to be stood up the whole time to remove the weight from it, which is quite tricky to try and get half the sling out, move it past, and put it back together. So all I'm going to do is make sure the lead leg and the middle are close together. I'm going to take the bottom carabiner on the middle one. We're just going to pop that across to the top carabiner that we've already moved. Screw that up. Now we've got an empty wire sling. Do your best not to drop it. Move it to the far side. And that can become the anchor for the lead leg. Just going to set you back on 3 attachments, making it easier to move this last one. Give yourself a little bit of room past the obstruction for the trailing leg. And again, because there's no weight applied to this one, I'm just going to take the top carabiner, undo half the wire sling, move it past, put it back together. Screw it up, carry on. Now if this was an obstruction, you could pass these ropes or another piece of steel working exactly the same way we just did there. For me, I'm just going to be abseiling down these ropes. So I'm going to take those 2 ropes, I'm just going to check them, make sure there's no knots in there, make sure they do reach the ground, make sure no one's on them before I start attaching. I'm going to swing them between the legs so they're in front. And rather than worrying about taking things off and how many points I'm on, I'm just going to attach the descender and the back device onto these ropes first. So I'll go ASAP first. The back line. Now we'll put the descender on. Pull the slack through just like you would with a changeover, just to make sure you don't drop too far when you come off the incline. Now, it's a good idea to use both of your legs to take the middle one off first. You could do that by removing the crawl from the rope in this case, or by clipping the connection from the wire anchor at the top. Step up, pop that out, sit down, relax, then remove the feet and the cow tails that they're connected to. Don't forget to take your wire anchor slings with you. Clean up, hand on the control rope, check the air shaft's not locked, take your time to put it down.